What up, man? We're back. It's a beautiful Friday, a freaky Friday, some would say. And we got a stacked card tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We got a stacked card, and we're just going to get right into it, man. Khamzat and Strickland is a banger, all right? I get it. Popular belief is going to be that Khamzat is probably just going to maul him. There's a part of me that thinks that too, but Strickland does have good takedown defense. Okay, he does have good takedown defense, and Strickland doesn't stay off his bike. That motherfucker stays moving and cutting off the corners of the cage the entire fight, essentially. We've seen Strickland have a couple bad performances, you know, like when he lost versus Strickland and shit like that, but Strickland's that dude, man. I mean, off the top of my head, I think, he's 30-8. He's been fighting in the UFC for a very long time. He has fought the best of the best. And Strickland's game plan doesn't get any different fight to fight. Same way as Chimaev, and that's why I think it's dangerous. For a person who, let's think about like Israel Adesanya, for a person who has so many weapons constantly, and then they're facing a guy like Khamzat, who you know exactly what they're coming to do, it makes it very hard and worrisome to kind of open up your bag, and you're kind of, you try, I don't know, it makes it very, very difficult. Sean O'Malley versus Merab. It makes it hard to open up your bag when you know exactly what this motherfucker's trying to get to. Conor versus Khabib. I mean, the list goes down the line, all right? Strickland, though, he doesn't have all that crazy stuff in his bag. He gonna pop his jab. He gonna keep on his bike. He's gonna move, pop his jab, pop the two, pop the teep, pop the jab, pop the two, pop the teep. Maybe go teep first this time. Now jab, now two, now teep, now jab, now two. Maybe teep two, you know. And then occasionally throws a crazy overhand, all right? And I want you guys to take note of something. Strickland himself said, the only way Khamzat is winning is if he throws some crazy random overhand that just catches Sean on the chin. And that's very interesting because you don't often hear somebody say, you know, it's the fight game. You know, we know you can get caught at any moment. It can just be what it is. But going into the fight, you usually don't really say that. You usually don't really talk about that. You usually don't really talk about the what ifs. And I don't know if this is Strickland saying, like, trying to get in his head a little bit, like, bro, it's not going to work out. You can try to grapple me. I'm going to stuff that first takedown. And then with everything Sean's been saying, if he does actually stuff that first takedown, that can easily get in a grappler's head. And, you know, the only fights Khamzat has kind of struggled was Gilbert, which is crazy, right? Gilbert Burns, and Kamaru Usman, who I guarantee if you go watch those fights again, I bet you they stuffed the first takedowns. I hope I'm not wrong if you actually go fact check that. But I'm almost positive they stuffed those first takedowns. And when they stuff the first ones, it really kind of starts to wear on a grappler's head. Now, a guy like Merab, he's not going to give a fuck. He's gonna just throw a couple of strikes and then get right back into the legs. Somebody like him is much, much better. Same with Islam, much, much better than Khamzat at using the strikes and the grappling together. You know, boom, boom, changing levels, right? Or a jab and a kick and changing levels. Khamzat doesn't really do that, right? He will, kind of, you know, hope, maybe. But a lot of times he just goes and just gets after you, right? He just goes and gets right after your legs. And maybe he shows something in front of it and then changes levels. But he's not mixing together any combos and then the takedowns. And that's what guys like Merab and Islam, Charles Oliveira, that's what those guys are so incredible at, is you think you're getting boxed with, and then all of a sudden they change levels after hitting you with a nice little three-piece. So if you can stuff Khamzat, man, it can get interesting. It can get interesting. We've seen Khamzat, we've seen his cardio kind of not be great. Like I mentioned, he's been working with that old head. I don't know who that dude is. I guess he's some legendary trainer. I don't know. I'm sure you guys have all seen it on the embeddeds and on the videos and shit on YouTube. Arman's training with him, and we know Arman's a freak. But is he really even? Sometimes Arman, I feel like, gets gassed in his fights. So I don't know, man. He struggled. We're going to watch it right here. He struggled making weight. He made it, but you could tell this motherfucker struggled. Sean weighed in before everybody. He was the first one in this morning. He looks good. He looks ready to just fucking go. Yeah, he doesn't look too bad. He's not even sucked in a bunch on the face. Obviously sucked in there on the obliques and the rib cages, but that's not anything crazy. He even has a little bit of meat there on the abs still. So he really doesn't even look... He looked like he had a good cut. He looks like he's going to get filled right back up. And it doesn't even look like his energy's too low. Let's take a look at Hamzat here. Now, I've been here. I have been here. Let me tell you, when you're cutting a bunch of weight, everything feels like probably the most effort ever. I mean, it feels like death to stand up. Right there, having to step off and step back on the scale because he forgot they wanted pictures. That felt like death to him. Right here, he doesn't even want to put his pants back on. This feels like death. I promise you. This is the longest it'll ever take him to put on a pair of sweatpants. And I've been there. It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. Your body has nothing to give, and everything just takes so much effort. I mean, look how he's moving. He looks fucking mad. That looked like a bad weight cut, man. That looked like a bad weight cut. So, yeah, I'm going to just go on a fun limb here to hopefully be able to clip it up and make it a short. Strickland's going to win, man. He's going to shock the world. Watch this. He's going to do the same shit he kind of did with Izzy. He's going to rock Hamzat at some point, maybe drop him. He's going to go berserk on him. Hamzat's not going to get finished, though, because he's not like that. But then Strickland's going to win the unanimous decision. Unanimous decision. Not split. Watch. Man, I hope that shit is right. If that's fucking right, we clipping that shit up. All right. Moving on to another fight that I don't really fucking know who to pick, man. Tatsu Atara versus Joshua Vaughn. Should we go watch Joshua Vaughn versus Pantoja? Go watch that masterclass, huh? Nah, I don't really know, man. I really don't know. Joshua Vaughn is still so new, still so young. He's done so much, though, already. It's insane. I think at least once a day I still think about his fight with Brandon Royval. I mean, what in the fuck was that fight? Good God. That was a banger. That's gotta go in the Hall of Fame. Oh, look at that. That shit wants us to watch it. Joshua's damn good. Okay, he's green in the sport for sure. He's young. He doesn't have a whole lot on his resume, but fuck. I don't think it matters. Obviously, the bro has the belt. So, Tatsu Atara, though, very skilled fighter, very skilled on his feet, and very good grappler. I was not a fan of what he did to my boy Brandon Moreno, but it is what it is. You got to move on. I don't know how to call that fight, to be honest. I really don't. Joshua Van, we obviously know, has so much power. He has incredible power. But if you watch here, he doesn't really move a whole lot on his feet. That's why he's getting hit on the front leg here a lot already in the first round. I mean, that's got to be like fucking 9 front leg kicks here within a minute. That's because he's very boxer-heavy style. And that's okay, because then he does that. He's very quick to his counters. Everything has damn near full power on it. It's very quick. His defense for his head is very skilled, very good. But he does get hit to the body, and he does get hit to that front leg. And Tatsu Atara could definitely use that to his advantage. And Tatsu Atara is one of those guys that uses his combos very well to get into his takedowns. And that could, fuck, man. I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how to call it, man. But this fight here was a banger. And Brandon Royval had some crazy output, but so did Joshua. Joshua tried to keep up. In terms of significant, Joshua was better. But in terms of just overall output, I mean, Brandon Royval is just one of those guys that won't stop. Tots Tuatara isn't that. You know, he will try to use the cage and find his moments. And that could be better for Joshua, because as a boxer, it's easier to only see if you don't have to react every motherfucking second, you can obviously counter a lot easier. Versus when you're fighting a guy like Brandon Royval who's just putting it out there every second of the fight, you're kind of trying to really figure out which punch you're going to slip, or maybe duck, or maybe which one you're going to block counter punch. You know, it depends when there's so much coming at you, but then he can still do that, and Brandon Royval has been throwing so much. So Tots Tuatara isn't that guy, and I just have a feeling he did a good job against Moreno getting in the pocket, where Moreno usually fights really good in the telephone booth, and Tots Tuatara kind of picked him up in there and kind of picked him apart. I don't think he'll be able to do that to Joshua Vaughn. If you get in the booth with this guy and his little T-Rex arms, he's going to put you the fuck out. I mean, look at how he throws those things. I mean, he's got some paws on him, man. And oh my fucking goodness. Yeah, he cracks. Joshua Vaughn cracks. I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go with him by knockout. I think he'll end up hurting Tots Tuatara early. And I think Tots Tuatara will try to go complete grappling game plan. And I don't think he'll be able to do that against Joshua Vaughn. Another thing about the boxer style, you would think it's easier to take them down, but it's actually not, because a lot of takedown defense isn't actually sprawl first. It's actually get your hips in first and then sprawl. And when your feet are just right there planted and then they get in on those legs, you can pop those hips, right? You pop them, boom, and then you get the legs back as a sprawl. So it'll be hard to take down Joshua Vaughn. And, I mean, we know his counter game is very crisp. I really wish him and Pantoja didn't end the way that it did, man, because it's just so hard to even... I don't know who the fuck Joshua Van is. I mean, shit, bro. We do, but we don't. It's crazy. So I don't know, man. But I'm going to go with him. Just off of pure power, off of the boxing style. I think he's got pretty good takedown defense and grappling. I don't think Tots Tuatara will be able to just maul him. So I think he'll end up in the telephone booth like he did against Moreno, where he had success. But I don't think this time he'll have success. Because, I mean, you can see, I mean, Royval is a much longer striker, but Tots Tuatara is kind of a longer striker too. He's not tall, like Royval is, but he is long in terms of reach. And like we said, Joshua Vaughn has those T-Rex boxing style arms. Once he decides to go, I mean, you're getting cracked with pretty much full power off a jab. So anything else is super dangerous. So we're rolling with him. Who comes up next in this shit? It would be probably Volkov and Waldo Costa, huh? It's a banger of a card, man. Let me tell you. This is a banger of a card. Good shit, UFC. So we got Volkov versus Waldo Costa next, and that is a banger, man. And you know what? I've liked Alexander Volkov for a really, 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 really long time. And let me tell you, man, he has gotten this close so many times, and he just doesn't get it done. He got robbed against Ciryl Gane, which ended up making Ciryl Gane the UFC champion after he beat Derek Lewis, which Derek Lewis knocked out Volkov, right? I mean, that was one of the craziest comebacks of all time. Yeah. It's tough, man. But I like Alexander Volkov a lot, and I actually do like Waldo Costa a lot as well. So this is going to be an interesting fight. Alexander has been utilizing his grappling much, much more. Probably a little bit to do with age, but I think he kind of got tired of some of the scorecards sometimes, and he's trying to figure it out. You know, you see guys kind of do that. They start to get a little bit more experienced and a little bit more, Dustin Poirier kind of started to do that a little bit and just kind of grind out those maybe minute or two of some ground control just to kind of get on the scorecard in a little bit of a heavier way. Because Volkov isn't super dangerous on the ground. He has submissions, but he's not like super, super dangerous on the ground by any means. But I do believe him knowing that Waldo Cortez Acosta has some of the craziest power in the heavyweight division right now, probably. He's not just going to want to stand there and bang. He's going to utilize his reach. He's going to utilize his height, teep kicks, low kicks. Yeah, he's probably going to chop the fuck out of that front leg. He's going to utilize the grappling for sure. And I don't think he'll finish Waldo Cortez, but I think he will win probably maybe a split or unanimous decision. But make no mistake, Waldo can for sure put his lights out. Alexander has a habit of sometimes, I mean, he's very tall, so it's hard to not just leave your fucking neck and chin so high up in the air. And as a big guy, you sometimes think you're out of range when you're like that, but no, motherfucker, you ain't. So it'll be interesting, man. I'm excited for that fight. I really am. A little bit biased because I like him more. I'm going to go at Volkov, but it's a dangerous fight. It's a dangerous fight. I think the real money is probably it not going to decision. Because if Alexander does start to utilize the grappling, I think whenever Waldo does end up on his feet, whether it's within the round or the next round, Waldo's going to just fucking crack him with some shit and apply some pressure. And it's not like Volkov is that kind of a wrestler, right? He's not going to know how to just grapple on the fly. So if you start really putting that pressure on him and he gets his back on the cage and you're fucking throwing haymakers, he's going to be a little bit scared. He's trying to get that big-ass chin away. He could get caught, you know. But a little bit biased, I'm going to go with Alexander. Another banger coming up, Sean Brady and Joaquin Buckley. Sheesh. That's a banger right there. Sean Brady, good boxing, better grappling. Buckley, kind of about the same-ish. It's kind of interesting. They're kind of about the same fighter. They both have some power. They both have some good boxing. I would say Joaquin Buckley has better kickboxing. And they both have decent grappling, but not like well and above grappling, you know what I mean? It'll be a barn burner. It'll be a barn burner. I don't know. I don't know. Buckley could put his lights out. For some reason, the way Buckley's built with his fucking fat ass no neck and his big mitt head, pitbull ass head, it's just, I don't know if that guy's built to just get knocked out a bunch. And so I like his chances of knocking out Brady more than Brady knocking out him. But, man, I really don't know. I don't have a pick on that fight. You guys are going to have to do that one on your own. Let me know who you're rolling with, and maybe I'll just roll with you for fun. But I think it'll be a banger, and I think the money's probably in that also going 3 rounds as well. And then, fucking, my goodness. Old head versus old head here. We got King Green. Oh. I'm sorry, Jesus. I've never called that guy that name before. Since his name change, I don't believe in it. There's only one king. I take back what I said. I apologize. Bobby Green, the legendary Bobby Green. Not sure why he tried to change his name, but Bobby Green is taking on Jeremy Stephens. And Jeremy Stephens took some time off, I believe like 3-4 years or whatever. He came back last year, 2025. I believe he lost a decision, and now he's fighting again. Bobby's been active the entire time. Bobby's still fast. Bobby's still Bobby. I think Bobby will probably knock him out. Yeah, I got Bobby probably knocking him out, or just piecing him up for just 3 good rounds and winning a unanimous decision just because of pure speed, pure counter. We know we don't have to keep talking about it, bro. I feel like Bobby fights every other fucking week. I feel like I talk about this guy all the time, but we know what he's going to do. He's going to stand there, hands down, talk shit. He's going to pop a 1-2. He's going to pop another 2 after making you miss. He's going to throw a fucking uppercut, left hook, you know, shit like that, bro. Shit like that. Occasionally, he's going to throw some kicks. But yeah, he's going to stand there like this. And he's going to, boom. And he's going to, boom. What, bitch? What? Boom. That's what he's going to do type shit. And I don't think Jeremy Stephens is going to be able to keep up at that speed. So we're definitely going with Bobby Green. I'd like him to get a knockout. It'd be cool. But better chances are probably him winning the decision if I had to guess. Moving on to the prelims. You got at about, I don't know. I never know how to say this guy's name. Gutierrez. I know his last name's Gutierrez, but how do you say his first name? Adaba Gutierrez? I don't know. But he's taking on Ozzy Diaz. That'll be a good fight. I don't have a prediction on that one. I think it'll be a good fight. Gutierrez has power. We know that. So you could roll with him, but Ozzy Diaz isn't some rollover by any means. He is much older. It's 24 versus 35, right? But in terms of UFC career, Ozzy Diaz hasn't actually been around too long. So it's hard to say, man. But I'll go Gutierrez just off the fact that he's young. He's pretty hyped up right now. Yeah, we'll probably just roll with him, but it's going to be a crazy fight, I think. And I don't actually think that there's a good prediction on that fight. If anybody's telling you something on that one for sure, I would second guess them because I just think it'll be too close of a fight to call. And then we got another one that's like that with Joel Alvarez versus Amosov. Both very, very good fighters, 23-3 versus 29-1. Okay. Amosov, I believe, only has one fight in the UFC. I think he beat Neil Magny. I am correct. Comes from Bellator and then a fight in CFFC. He's very good. He's very good. He's not one of these. He's not one of these fighters from another organization that's just like a scrub, and I'm wondering how they even got here. He is really good. Joel Alvarez has been up in this bitch for a minute, though. 2019, he only has 3 losses. He's fought some pretty good people. Arman knocked him out, right? And he submitted Mark Diakis, who a lot of people used to like back in the day. They thought he was going to be something special. He ended up being a dud. He's beat Vicente Luque. You know, yeah, I don't know, man. It's another hard fight. I don't know how to call it. I think both are skilled. I think both are pretty old to not have really any of a, like, reputation in the UFC. You know, people don't really know Joel Alvarez like that. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, this card is full of fights that I just don't know how to call them. I mean, the entire fucking prelim card, dude. I don't know how to call it. I wish Jan Blachowicz and Bogdan wouldn't have got canceled. I think Jan Blachowicz had ACL surgery or something. Yeah, Joel Alvarez and Amosov, I don't know, man. You guys call it. For fun, I'll go Amosov. Grant Dawson versus Rabicki. Again, bro, that fight is so close, man. That fight's so close. I wonder who people are rolling with, dog. I should have went and checked DraftKings before this because I'm wondering what the odds are of most of these fights. I feel like a lot of these got to be so close. Like I'm talking like 120, 110, the other guy type shit, you know? Minus 120, minus 110. fuck, dude. I don't know. I think I want to go with Grant Dawson because, in my opinion, I feel like Grant Dawson has fought better people. He did get knocked out by Manuel Torres. I mean, good fucking God, and he got knocked out by fucking Bobby Green. I don't know, man. I don't know. Y'all, I'm pretty much making a video of just telling you guys that I don't know who you guys should roll with. I don't know if that'll do the numbers, but hey, at least I'm keeping it honest with you guys, man. I'm not ever going to come here and just fucking make some bullshit predictions because you know what? I don't have Prize Picks in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no sponsorship. So I'm giving you guys honest predictions because shit, money matters in this world, man. The last fight of the prelim and then going into the early prelims is going to be Jim Miller. Actually, not the last fight. It'll be the first fight of the prelim. Sorry, I misspoke. Jim Miller and Jared Gordon. Again, how do you call that, man? I'm going to go Jim Miller. But the motherfucker's 42, all right? I want you guys to understand something. He has been in the UFC since I was 8. Good God, man, he's been around for a while. So, but Jared Gordon, in terms of vet versus vet career, I mean, Jim Miller dog walks Jared Gordon, right? So that's why I'm just going Jared Gordon off of that. Jared doesn't win a lot, but if he does, he's probably going to knock you out. So I'm just hoping that Jim Miller's old ass just can take a shot still. All right? But we're rolling Jim. We're rolling Jimmy boy on that one, all right? Moving on to the early prelims, the shit nobody gives a fuck about, but even this shit is stacked a little bit. Not stacked. Let me be cautious with what I'm saying. Let me be weary a little bit. But Roman Kopylov versus Marco Tulio, that's going to be a good fight. Roman Kopylov, man, I don't know what's up with that guy because he's much better than what he produces. And I don't know if he's just one of those guys that gets in his own way and he just has a fat-ass mental block, but he just doesn't fight up to his potential and up to his capabilities. He's a very skilled striker, and he's not awful at grappling by any means, but he's a very, very skillful striker, but we've seen him get pieced up by guys like Paulo Costa. And I think he lost his last fight too, right? He lost in 2025 to Gregory, you know, fucking... yeah, so he's coming off of 2 losses in a row, Paulo Costa and Gregory Rodriguez. Freaking RoboCop or whatever they call him. And now we're fighting Marco Tulio. Okay, and Marco Tulio is 14-2. Roman Kopylov is 14-5. Okay, but Tulio has only been in the UFC since 2025, I believe. He got knocked out by Christian Leroy Duncan. Okay, but he knocked out Chashan Gore, who sucks, and he knocked out Ior Patoria, who is, you know what I mean? But knocking out Chashan Gore doesn't really mean shit. I don't know how that guy Chashan Gore won recently. That guy is awful. I don't believe he should be in the UFC whatsoever. Roman Kopylov versus Marco, though, I just don't know. I'm going to go with Roman. Marco hasn't fought anybody in the UFC, right? Marco doesn't have that experience. Roman has been in there with guys like Gregory, been in there with guys like Paulo. And not just that either, right? I mean, he beat Chris Curtis, who's a vet. You know, he got submitted by Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, but you know, he has a fight with him, 2 rounds with him. So in terms of fighting a guy who just doesn't have that same experience and resume, I'm going to go at Roman Kopylov to get a big bounce back win after back-to-back losses. Maybe he'll get a knockout, you know, maybe he'll be feeling a little bit more flashy with his kicks and maybe he'll get a head kick knockout. Maybe a little switch roundhouse to the head. Moving on. Moving on. Pat Sabatini versus William Gomez. Pat Sabatini's all right. He's been around for a little while at this point, man, but he just doesn't get it done. You know what I mean? He just doesn't he's been in here since 2021, but he just doesn't, you know, he's got knocked out by Diego Lopez. He's submitted Lucas Almeida, and he's submitted Jonathan Pierce, and you know, he beat Chepe in a decision, and he beat Brito in a decision. He's just not that exciting of a guy. He just hasn't been able to do enough for his career to kind of elevate him in any kind of way. William Gomez has been around since 2022, and I don't think he's lost in the UFC. Oh, no. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't think he's lost in the UFC, matter of fact. Oh, no, he has. He lost to Hyder, a mill. In what seems to be a banger of a fight. 164 total strikes to 116, 115 significant to 101. So they fucking scrapped and went at it. But so William Gomez, he's got one loss in the UFC. He's much younger, 28 to 35. He's much bigger, 6 foot to 5'7", and he's got a 3-inch reach on him. Like I said, Pat Sabatini's just not that exciting of a guy. I think he is experienced enough to try to do what he needs to do on the scorecards, but I think William Gomez will be able to have his way with him. The Jaguar, William Gomez. Moving on to, I believe it'll be Hamzat's homeboy, right? I don't know how to say that guy's name ever, but we essentially just know him as Hamzat's homeboy. Yeah, man, I can't fucking say that name. Sakurov? I think that's the best guess. That might actually be it. I'm not going to try the first name, though. But Sakurov is Hamzat's homeboy, and he's pretty much just came into the UFC and has hyped himself up like no other. Hamzat probably weighed in on that a little bit, but he was, I'm pretty sure, a main card his second fight in the UFC. So I don't know how he's necessarily... I don't know why he's on the early prelims now. I mean, this is a much more stacked card, but how do you go from a main to... Unless I'm mistaking. Am I possibly mistaking? Let me see. Oh! Gonna have to edit that out. Damn it. But yeah, give me just a second. I'm going to make sure I'm not just saying bullshit here. I feel like at UFC 322, he was on the main card, was he not? No, I'm tripping big time. Yeah, I'm tripping big time. Yeah, I was wrong, but I think what I was meaning to say is that he has 3 fights in the UFC, and all of them have been on numbered events. I think that's more so what I was meaning to say. Which is pretty big. You know, usually you're just on like a little fight night, or maybe an early prelim and then a fight night, or vice versa. But he's been prelims of 3 numbered events now, and 2 of them with his boy Hamzat on the card. He's fighting to Jordan Santos, who isn't very good in my opinion. He lost to Ozzy Diaz, and he beat Danny Barlow, but that's it. I'm going to go with Sakurov, because if he loses, Hamzat and his boys will jump him in the back. No, I'm just kidding. But, I mean, imagine that. You're setting, that's the kind of fucking energy you bring back to your homeboy's locker room is a loss or some shit. Can't have that. So they won't be going for that. Sasakurov is going to be looking to set off the night in the right way for their team. I'm going to go him by knockout or submission. And then moving on to the first fight of the night. The moment you've all been waiting for. Imagine the very first fight on the early prelims, if that's how they if that's how they was announcing it. But Clayton Carpenter versus Jose Ochoa. Jose Ochoa sounds like he should be in the WBC, but he's not, and that is okay. Because in his second fight ever in the UFC, he fought Asu, who we know Asu is very, very good. Very good. And he's also fought Loner Koganov. Oh, that was his third fight in the UFC. He fought Asu. That's crazy. So he fought Loner Koganov and he lost in a decision. And we know Loner is like all right? You know, everybody's kind of trying to hype him up a little bit or whatever. So we know he's decent, okay? And then he fought Cody Durden, who again, also one of those guys, kind of decent-ish, right? But he knocks him out, and then he just gets a fight with Asu, and Asu is one of them. All right, he's one of them. But he had a good fight with Asu, and now he's fighting Clayton Carpenter, okay? And Clayton Carpenter sounds like a guy that should be working for my company. But he's not. Instead, he has lost to Tagir, and he's lost to Rafael Filijo by submission in round 1. Embarrassing. We're going to go Jose Ochoa, WBC legend. Just kidding. No, he just sounds like a legendary Mexican boxer or something. But, yeah, we're going to roll with him. He's going to start off the night right, and I think he'll start it off by a knockout. He's going to start it off by a knockout. That's how I feel. But I want to talk a little bit more about Strickland and Chimaev. Now that we've got through that whole card, banger of a card, right? Let's get the brass tacks of Sean Strickland and fucking Khamzat. What's going on? Is this real beef or is this just hyping shit up? I don't know, okay? I don't know. It seems real when the motherfucker Strickland is talking about shooting him. I mean, he's saying, if you're going to come jump me, I'm going to shoot you and all your boys, bro. And we know Strickland walking around strapped. I mean, even when he's probably not supposed to be, he is, right? You know, he's walking around like, shit, like one of them 24/7 dykes, you know what I'm saying? So he's strapped up and he's ready to go. And we know Khamzat likes to start shit off. We know his team is down to get into some shit. And we know Khamzat's a bit of a hothead. It's funny, Khamzat, you know, they're doing the fucking weigh-in, or not the weigh-in, they're doing the face-off. And Dana's like, don't touch him, no touching. Khamzat's like, oh, no, I touch, bro. No touch, bro. No, I no touch. Fucking Strickland's like, yeah, you'll do nothing, bitch. You ain't doing nothing, bitch. Khamzat fucking throws a teep kick at him. I saw a comment that said, Sean Strickland gonna be throwing his teep kicks with a little extra venom now. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like real beef, man. It seems interesting. I mean, Chimaev is like, we know, a crazy man for the most part, and Strickland is also a fucking crazy man, and Strickland's over there talking about religion, but then saying, I'm not the one who made it about religion, Khamzat did, and then, you know, he's looking at him and his whole team and saying they're not real men, and they slutted themselves out to a fucking communist, and yeah, he said you hoard yourself out to a communist for a G-Wagon, and he said, you guys need to get the fuck out of America, you're not real men. And then he looks over at like all his fans that are like Americans, and he's like, you guys are real men. You guys are from a country built by men, made by men. And then he looks over at Khamzat's team, and he's like, you guys hoard yourselves out for a G-Wagon to a fucking communist. So I don't know, man. It seems real, bro, because Khamzat can't lose this. That communist is seeing what Strickland's saying, my brother. So Khamzat can't lose this, man. And if he does, oh boy, I feel like some shit gonna get set off afterwards. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. The press conference was pretty interesting. They were talking some shit. I feel like Strickland was not able to. It was hard for Strickland to get off on Khamzat because Khamzat just kind of kept going. And you know Khamzat at those pressers, he'll just start getting louder and louder and louder and louder on the mic. Like as he's speaking, his dialect will just get louder and louder and louder and louder. And it gets harder and harder to understand him as well. So I think Strickland, it got difficult for him to even start to really like get sentences out because Khamzat's just yelling the whole time. Khamzat's, you know, what was the shit he was saying? Where's Coach? He's like, where's Coach Eric? Ask Coach Eric. I squeeze your neck all time at practice. I squeeze you all time at practice. What happened? I ask you go outside. What you do? Tell people. I ask you go outside. Where's Eric? Where's Eric? He told me go easy on. You know, he's talking about the practice times and shit. And Strickland's trying to say that Khamzat's talking about a flow round or something, and then Khamzat was like, flow round, brother, flow round. That's why you cried after, brother. I make you cry like your daddy made you cry, brother. So Khamzat's on one. He's trying to get in his head about the dad jokes. I don't think Strickland should have ever opened up that vessel on Theo Von's podcast because Drinkus has used it, and we obviously saw what that did, and now Khamzat's trying to use it. Fluffy, I think Fluffy was too respectful of a guy to be doing all of that, unless I missed something, unless he did maybe say something and it just didn't matter. Maybe he didn't say it with enough oomph. But I think if you got real trauma and you got real PTSD, and, you know, Strickland was talking about earlier this week, you know, when he no longer feared his dad or something, and it was after he headbutted his dad when he was like 17 years old or something, and he saw his dad crying on the floor, bleeding and whatever the fuck. And his dad was some abusive dude to his mom or something. So that's why Strickland's the way that Strickland is. Okay, and his dad was abusive to him. Okay, but you know, he's talking about it this week, saying he doesn't have that fear anymore since he was 17 or whatever. He lost that fear. He saw his dad act like a little bitch or whatever. That his words. I don't necessarily think that's true because, like, if since you were 17, you ain't felt some type of way about your dad, you wouldn't have broke down on Theo Von's podcast, and then you wouldn't have broke down in front of Drinkus, right? So I don't think you should have opened up that vessel because everybody is going to attempt to try to use it against you, and now you got some foreigner just screaming shit at you about your daddy. I think it's real beef. I don't know what people are talking about, but I think it's real beef. I think the thing is, man, it is Conor and Khabib was so pure and so authentic that I think it made everybody lose sight of what is also real. Like, if it's not that real, then it must not be real. It must just be to sell tickets, and it must just be for the show and the hype. I don't necessarily think that's true, man. I don't think, like, are we going to say Jorge Masvidal and Leon Edwards' beef wasn't real? Or him and Colby Covington's beef wasn't real? Because Jorge didn't jump the octagon of the fight? Or because Colby didn't throw a dolly through a bus that Jorge was on? Like, the beefs are real still. I get it didn't get as drastic for show, but that doesn't mean we have to just write everything off as, oh, this is for show. I don't think it is, man. I don't think this is for show. I don't think these two guys like each other. They're supposed to be mutual respect when you've shared time in a gym together, and they're both openly kind of shitting on that time and talking about that time and not really paying too much respect on that time spent together in the gym. And so usually when you have that, that means there's some things kind of got left unwritten, unsaid within that gym and within those sessions. And so they're going to get a chance tomorrow night to settle that. We know what Khamzat's coming out to do. I don't know if some of what Strickland's saying is going to weigh in on Khamzat's mind, and maybe he tries to stand and bang for a little bit. We have seen multiple times where Khamzat loses track of the game plan a little bit, loses focus, and then he goes back to the corner and his coaches are screaming at him, take him down, stay to the game plan. So if Sean's able to get him worked up, you know, and if Sean's able to stay on his bike the exact same way that he did against Anthony Fluffy and just keep changing the angles, not just circling off on one side of the cage, but changing the angles, changing the corners, stay on the bike, pop the jab, pop the tube, pop the teep. Don't let that teep get caught. I think he could have a chance, bro. I think he could have a chance, man. It'll be interesting, though. It'll be interesting. I don't know how long Hamzat... If Hamzat wins this fight or loses, I think he's done at middleweight. I just do not think that weight cut looked very good. I don't. And it usually never does. It didn't look good when he was going to welter. It hasn't looked good at middle. And he has a whole new training regimen with that old head, right? So even that shit's not necessarily working. I don't know what it is. I think maybe he's just supposed to go up. I don't know. I can't believe, though, that Hamzat's not doing more about what Strickland is saying, to be honest. Which also makes me feel like this is a really bad weight cut. Like, he doesn't even have the energy type shit. But I don't know. He's playing, like, Hamzat's playing mind games with me damn near, because he had so much energy at the conferences, man. And he had so much energy talking shit to Sean. But, boy, stepping on that scale did not look good. Him trying to put his sweatpants back on did not look good. He looks fucking, yeah, he looked bad. But then, yeah, at the same time, you would think with the kind of guy that Hamzat is, with what Sean's saying, I mean, Sean's saying, I'm going to shoot you. Sean's saying, fuck you and your whole team. You guys are whores to communists, telling them, fuck you, get out of the country. Hamzat's yelling, America loves me, bro. Nobody loves you. America loves me. But then Sean's telling you, get the fuck out of the country. You're a whore to a communist. Like, I mean, you have to stay professional, but we've seen plenty of times where guys lose it before the fight happens, right? I mean, Nate Diaz has had multiple incidences. Who was yelling at bro that one time? You're not about that. Oh, Kevin Holland and Hamzat got into it one time, throwing water bottles at each other, and Kevin was like yelling at him, "You're not like that. You're not that guy." Da 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 da. So it's not like we haven't seen shit get set off before, man. So maybe he's just dead. Maybe he's just fucking dead and he can't even defend himself right now and he's just waiting for Saturday night. I don't know. It's going to be a scrap. It's going to be a scrap. I hope Sean doesn't just get taken down and mauled. If he does, man, Hamzat, we got to do more. We can't do what we did to Dricus. If you get bro in a crucifixion, we need to start dropping some fucking elbows. Some bombs. I'm talking some bombs. You got to start dropping them things. Hamzat's over here grappling just to fucking grapple, dog. Go be in the Olympics. But if you have a chance to maul somebody, Habib that shit. Talk some shit. Punch them. Talk some shit. Grab their neck. Talk some shit. Elbow them. Talk some shit. Grab their neck again. Don't just win a position and then just stay in that position. Like, god damn, man. And this is coming from a natural grappler. This is what I come from, man. This is my home base is grappling. But go get a finish. You grapple to finish. You don't grapple to fucking cuddle. The hell? This is why we get a bad rep sometimes, man. This is why they start booing and shit sometimes. You could be exciting on the ground, but if you're just going to fight to win a position and then just stay in that position and not do anything with it, god, that's fucking lame, bro. So I'm just hoping that that's not what happens to Sean. I believe that the way Sean is, he's good at defending takedowns. He's good at keeping his movement going, staying on his feet, keeping the shuffling, the side feet movement. He's not going to square off his body. He's not going to get stuck in one spot. Yeah, he's got to stay on that bike the entire time, and I hope he's ready. We obviously know Sean has the cardio. He's not going to stop. But we don't know if he has the cardio to grapple and fight as well. But then he said, I mean, he was like, what do you guys fucking think I do all practice? All I fucking do is grapple. I just don't post it because it's fucking gay. So if that's the case, and maybe he does really spend a whole lot of time wrestling, I mean, everybody does. If you're in mixed martial arts, you spend some time grappling. But the way he was making it seem was like he like wrestles. So if that's the case, I mean, shit, maybe we're in for a surprise. I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I mean, Kamaru Usman a long time ago was able to maul Sean Strickland. But that was a long, long time ago. But I feel like Sean Strickland actually used to be a little bit more of a grappling style until he just like got bored of it or something. So I don't necessarily... It's so crazy, bro. I don't get it. Because Dricus was able to grapple Strickland a bit, right? But then Dricus can't even get a sprawl off on Khamzat. But then I'm over here saying Strickland should be able to maybe defend some takedowns against Khamzat. The math ain't mathin', boys. The math ain't mathin'. But that's how I feel. That's what my gut is saying. That's what my heart is saying. And when that's happening, I think you got to just roll with that. You know what I mean? You can't roll with the second thought. You know, people will tell you to think twice. I'll tell you the opposite. Think once, roll with that decision. But that's the video, man. That's what I got. I'm not going to do another quick little rundown here. Play back the fucking fights. We started from the beginning of the most hype shit, starting off with Khamzat and Strickland. I'm going with the unpopular opinion. We're rolling with Strickland. And then Joshua Van, Tatsu Tuatara, we don't know, but Joshua Van might get in that telephone booth, knock him out with some T-Rex arms. Volkov, Waldo, fuck, we don't know. But I like Alexander too much, so we're rolling with him. And then... now I forgot what it is. I know Bobby Green fights. We're rolling with him, but then you can go back, watch the rest of the video, play it back, give me some extra view time, and let me know what you think of the predictions. Drop a comment. Let me know who you're rolling with. Drop a like, subscribe, hit that noti bell so you can get that next video that I post. I will be probably reacting to the fights afterwards. I meant to get out some previous videos, man, but... life just be happening, bro. Life be lifing. Carlos Prates. Let me talk about that actually real quick. Sorry, not the end of the video. Carlos Prates is fucking sick, man. God damn, he's sick. He's probably one of the sickest in the UFC right now. And I like him a lot. You guys know, if you watch the video of Israel Adesanya losing again to fucking Joe Pyfer. Still not over that dumb shit. Israel was like my Anderson Silva 2.0. Not better. I'm not saying better, just like, you know, a second version. But Silva is what got me into the UFC. Shout out my older brother, man. I was 8, 9 years old. Parents weren't home. I went downstairs. My bro was watching Silva versus Rich Franklin 1. Anderson Silva clinches up Muay Thai. Boom, just starts wailing him with knees. And then he proceeds to do the exact same thing to him in the second fight. I got to see that, man, as my first ever experience into mixed martial arts. Up until that point, all I knew was WWE, and I wasn't supposed to be watching that either. But parents go out of town, you get to do some fun things with your brother, and I got put on to the GOAT. Anderson the Spider Silva changed my life forever. We've already talked about it, man. Anderson's career, shit, now it's bouncing back. I mean, bro's a fucking cop in Beverly Hills after knocking out Tyrone Woodley in a boxing match. But the UFC career was really starting to just plummet, and I was getting tired of seeing him get finished, and it was breaking my heart every time. And then Israel Adesanya, he's been going through it. What? He's done 4 or 5 in a row losses. But get out of here, Izzy. We got Carlos Prates. Anderson Silva 3.0. Dude just fights with his hands down. Muay Thai style. Throws big knees just like Anderson. Throws a long 2 just like Anderson. Throws cool kicks just like Anderson. Throws flying shit just like Anderson. Crazy in the Muay Thai clinch just like Anderson. Sticks his hands out, grabs your hands just because you're a bitch, and then wallops you with an elbow or a knee. Just like Anderson. I don't know what they're doing in Brazil, but they still got the fight game on lock. So shout out Carlos Prates, man. I got him knocking Islam out. No way Ian Gary beats Islam, all right? I got Carlos Prates knocking Islam out. I just want to talk about that because, damn. And then, 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to make a video, but I kind of thought, like, if anybody's really picking Yusuf Zalal over Sterling, you're probably just slow. And that's okay. Like, that's okay, you know? But if you did that, I don't know why. And I apologize. I didn't get out a video. But, yeah, there was no way on earth Yusuf Zalal was winning that fight. I didn't even think he had a puncher's chance. And then the rest of the card was just whack. I just didn't really give a shit about the rest of the card. So I maybe could have worked in some time to get a video in, but we just didn't get to it, and that's my bad. But I did want to get to Carlos Prates and JDM because I do like Carlos Prates a lot. You guys don't have to take my word for it because I don't have proof, but I did predict that fight to a T. I knew JDM, he dips that head off a lot, boxer style, and I knew that that would just be very, very dangerous against a guy like Carlos Prates with very sharp Muay Thai skills. And I predicted that greatly. So I wish I would have had the video out, but it is what it is. I'm excited for Prates, man. Oh, that dude is sick, though. But yeah, more videos coming. We gonna react to this after tomorrow night, and I'll probably get it out on Sunday or something. But yeah, do all that shit I told you to do, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and peace.